I'm just so happy that she agreed to be part of this feature with Laura Santaro and Anita Rodriguez. So we're going to start with Summer Wood.
Thank you, Veronica. And I'll tell you in private what I think of you. It's so nice to see all of you here, and it's so nice to get the chance to read in Taos. And it's an incredible pleasure for me to read with Laura and with Anita. I know you guys know these writers and how talented they are. I don't know if you know how multi-talented and accomplished Anita is. Certainly know her as an artist and as a writer, but I also know her from many years. I spent 20 years as a building contractor, and Anita is an incredibly accomplished builder. And 20 years ago, she taught me how to build an Adobe fireplace, so I am still very grateful for that.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, Veronica, and thank you, Liz, and thank you, everybody, for putting this together. It's a great thing to have. I'm really happy to see all of you women come out for this, and I am especially happy to see the men in the audience. I look forward to the day when we can have a celebration like that, where we have half men and half women in the audience. I think that would be really a great thing. I was going to read to you something brand new, and then I got a cold feet, and I thought, I'll read to you from Wrecker, which is my new book. New a year ago, because I'm all excited about it still, and it's coming out in paperback in September with a new title, Raising Wrecker. But then this morning I was thinking about it a little bit more, and I changed my mind, because here we are in Taos, and here we are in the springtime, and I've just been missing, every year I go through winter, and I love winter, but when spring comes, I feel like I fall in love with this place all over again. And this is my 23rd spring here, and I'm just so happy to be here. So I'm going to read to you from Arroyo, which I wrote a very long time ago, but it's kind of my love poem to Taos. And I'm going to read to you from the spring chapter. So we start with my little ode to spring here. Mid-spring and everything knows it. Nest making, photosynthesizing, rush and tumble of green, even the light takes on that grassy hue. The earth gone soft and its odors indiscreet, cow shit and cottonwoods. Branch lengths stippled with catkins, carnivorous fringe of rose-tipped sepals, guarding the yellow bloom, and past that the leaf case, a leather-colored cover for explosion of sweet green. Honey tar gluing the leaves in a swirl, half tree, half dirt, sweet ochre mucilage of spring, and leaf after miniature serrated leaf. Cloud puff in the pale blue, and over the ridge, a wind howl short of melody, like pain that can't find words and comes out moan, up to my elbows in the smear of it. If Joe's face weren't so long, it would be elfin. Twin creases down the middle of his cheeks, and beard stubble grows outside of them, a shadow that looks like dirt come 5 o'clock. Joe squats in his backyard with a mirror propped against a rock and a bowl of warm water between his knees, and shaves the stubble smooth. Lets his wife sleep in, Rose's gentle snores stirring the pillowcase. He breathes in dawn damp and shaving cream and dips his razor in the bowl to finish the job. 2 windows still need fixing at the inn before he meets Tito at 8, shovels sharp and shears to snip the brambles at the head gate to the ditch. 2 hours, 2 windows, no hurry. A sweeping gravel lane arcs in front of the old house turned bed and breakfast. Joe drives past the main door and parks at the shed where he stores his tools. No guests this weekend. Even Robert and Javier gone, flown back to New York to visit friends. He brushes the dirt from his boots and lets himself in the back entrance, carries a box of tools up the stairs to the corner bedroom. It won't take long to tune these double hungs. Last week he set the ladders, had Javier help him lift the heavy storm sash from their hooks outside and haul them down to store through summer. 29 windows, all but 6 of them originals, single glass, divided lights, wood sash and jamb and iron counterweights that hang by cotton cord and need adjusting. No reason these last 2 couldn't wait until Monday, but Joe's own need to get things done, to finish what he started. That and solitude, rare to be there when quiet. Swiftly, efficiently, Joe pries the casing from the jamb. removes the strip of inside stop, lifts out the lower sash and leans it up against the wall. He checks the cord. It's frayed in spots and needs replacing. Gently slides the parting bead out from its groove and tips the upper sash free of the jam. That cord's frayed too. The pulley rotates stiffly, calls for oil. Backs out the flathead screw that clamps the pocket cover, tugs the sash weights through the gap. They're fat, cold sausages, little iron cylinders at rest in the palm of his hand. And smells. Cottonwoods, yes, that delicate elixir drifting through the open window. Fruit blossom, the bright green spurt of grass, smoke from a wood stove, skunk whiff and water. More than anything, water, soaking the earth in sucked up plant stock and flowing fat in the stream bed. It's something about the water. He tilts his chin and it's the vaguest link what happens in his head, some brief connection he can't name, but scares him. Something bad. And gone so fast he's nearly sure he dreamed it, made it up. Joe shakes his head, swaps out the cords, rubs beeswax on the pulleys, beeswax in the sash grooves so they glide smooth. Just a little panicked, he puts back what he removed. Monday's fine to finish the last one. Checks the back door latch and tries to shake the feeling. Too early still for Tito. Joe stands at the compuerta to the dry north ditch and lets his gaze soften. Even with his lids low, he can see the ripple and eddy of water in the Acequia Madre. It calms him. Shuts his eyes and follows the water in his mind. First the creek, roaring brown, muddy with runoff from the peaks, then the heavy gate where a portion of the creek flow diverts to the concrete flume, and then that volume's controlled path down canyon, past tall pines and rock thrust to feed the lateral ditches. The Acequia del Norte, dry until he's satisfied with the cleaning. The Acequia del Sur, sparkling, sunlit out toward Vai's place. The highland ditch that parallels the road and fills the stock ponds at the western edge. He's been mayordomo 14 years. 14 years. Partitioning the water, maintaining the ditches, settling disputes in dry years. No arguments now. This spring there's more water than he's ever seen. Without him, still the water would run. 200 years since Spanish first settled this valley, dug these capillaries off main flow. Without any of them, the water would run, and this sustains him. Manic tapping of a flicker in a dead tree. Opens his eyes to catch the red cheeks, the dotted body of the bird, and grins. Pack hell out of whatever they land on, but Dios, how pretty. And I'm going to skip a few pages in the book and a few hours in the story. I'm not sure why I decided to read about men today. I love men. I mean, not in that way, but... Squat Tito, tattooed, the blue seeping past its boundaries as his skin ages and expands. Tito works the sharp edge of a shovel to cut the ditch bank back, persuade the water that way, while Joaquin hunts for rocks to pack the outside turn. Leave the water to its own devices, it erodes a whole new route. It'll go where it wants, flood the road, waste itself down arroyos, spread out on someone's fallow field and grow the weeds. It's a moral duty, this ditch cleaning. That, and it's $35 for the day, that'll taste good going down. He showed up late and Joaquin, Crudo, tagged along. Unflappable Joe set them to clean the north ditch. Clean and rebuild where it needs it. Late morning and Joaquin's grumbling steady, but Tito turns him out. The heat? Shad. May? This is nothing. Fun feels good on the back of his neck. Sun feels good on the back of his neck. Joaquin complains like magpies chatter, idly, with no better way to occupy his time. Noise, no real resistance. Joaquin's on the downhill slope and looking south. Tito glances up. 2 hawks circle, hunting field mice. Puts his fingers to his mouth and doubles their cry. Catch 'em, he calls out. Keep 'em out of my cupboards. His trailer's just a glint below, the creek a shining rope through apple trees. Wanda's grandpa's orchard. 6 days since they dropped the old man in the ground. Joaquin twists his neck to face his friend. Long drink of water. He's thoroughbred to Tito's mule. Yo, he says, that yours now? Tito shrugs. I pay the taxes, no? If it was mine, I'd sell it. Sell it, Tito snorts. shakes his head. Sell it. You're an asshole. Sell it on abuelo. And he thinks, yeah, sell the orchard and what last handhold that viejo had on earth would slip away. He looks down ditch, considers. Here in the open, the grasses grow long and silky over the shallow trench. Let's burn these weeds. It's wet enough. And Joaquin gladly flicks the propane torch and sets the flame. They stand on the hillside and watch the tame blaze take the straw. Use the flat of their shovels to control the burn, though the air is still and there's not much threat to spread. Black smoke drifts in a steady column up. Lean their weight on their shovel handles. Tito says, I tell you how we found him? Joaquin yawns. Who? Found who? Tito considers him. Stood over your eyebrow, he says. Joaquin lifts his elbow, rubs his brow with the back of his hand. Tito says, just kidding before. Now you're good and black. Says, Wanda's grandpa. I tell you? Guess you will, Joaquin says, squinting. Checks his watch. 10 minutes to lunch, they'll let the flame burn out, head down the hill. And guess I will, Tito says. Squats and his belly flops over his belt, and he thinks, like it or not. What that man loved was flowers, Tito says, laughing. Oldest son of a bitch in recorded history, half hummingbird, hollow-boned, couldn't have weighed more than 80 pounds if you hosed him down. Spit at you for looking sideways. You remember? Shit, yeah. Joaquin shakes his head, checks his watch again. This could take some time. Used to worry me. He'd go out at night, get up out of bed, and walk down to the orchard. Wanda said let him go. I said the coyotes would eat him, skinny little thing like that. I said the owls could carry him off. She said, don't sweat it, baby. Not a tender morsel left, just tire rubber and rhubarb. Just meanness and flower fragrance. And she got on all right with him. Only one who did. Tito lifts an eyebrow. Don't badmouth los muertos, they come get you. Joaquin waves his hand. Andale pues, I'm hungry. It's my wife cooking you lunch, no? You can wait. He tilts his head to one side and cracks his neck. This one night I hear him get up, hack, spit, shuffle in those funky fall-apart chanclas. I hear him go out the door. I think, she don't worry, why should I? So I go back to sleep. He stretches to throw dirt on a runway lick of flame. I get up in the morning, he's still gone. I look out that window and I can see him, that snowy head, in a lawn chair he dragged out there. White hair and all those apple blooms around him. Joaquin grunts. So I think, bueno, I'll finish breakfast, go out and bring him in. Only Sonia climbs up on the table and falls off. She cuts her chin, blood in her clothes on the floor, and Wanda's with the baby. So I say, Juan, you go. Tell Grandpa come in and eat. A while goes by. Wanda and me, we're checking out the window. Juan's hunkered down by the old man's lawn chair, holding onto the armrest, no? Shifting his legs now and then. They're a long time. An hour, maybe more. Finally, he comes back in by himself. He don't look at us. Goes straight to his room, starts right in playing blocks with Bubby. Doors open enough for me and Wanda to watch. Sonia's pissy. She kind of waddles their way and knocks the top blocks off what Bubby's building, and he gets mad, grabs her arm and twists. She's crying and I'm about to go in, but Wanda says, real soft, wait. She's still watching Juan. He's real intense, like he's analyzing the blocks. Sonia cries and she tells Bub, she's mean, She says to him, you're bad. I'm telling Grandpa and he'll make you cry. And Juan, he don't stop what he's doing. Don't even look up from the blocks. He just says, can't. Grandpa's dead. Joaquin's quiet. Then he says, there must have been bees. Okay? Bees flying around in the apple trees. Tito shakes his head, laughs. Maybe so, J-Man. Maybe so. Thank you.